Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. As we are led to believe, I pretend that this is a child we are talking about, but let's not forget this is an adult. Well, finally, that expensive webcam I went and got last year is finally coming in super handy and working like it's supposed to now that I got a new laptop. I'm thinking maybe that old laptop was just too out of date for the webcam, or maybe the USB ports were dirty, because that was seemed to be the biggest problem, was just every 5 minutes or so it would reset. I'd actually fixed it at one point with the operating system on the USB settings to power management to get it to stop doing that. Then it came back. I checked the power management settings and it was still giving me that problem. I've noticed maybe once or twice the screen kind of glitching with the new computer, so maybe it does need a new USB cord in the long run to fix it proper. So more or less, this is an experiment, but hey, it looks fantastic, and so far so good with this new laptop with my expensive webcam that I haven't really found a use for up until maybe right now. So let's get into this. All right,
Pat? Jim, teenagers with a gun tried to steal a car here. But the driver of the car, you see, he had a gun too. Deadly consequences here in Alexandria. 18-year-old Jordan Petit, a would-be carjacker, shot and killed last Friday by the driver of the car he was trying to steal. Today, I talked to Petit's mother about what happened and what this has done to her.
Every man teach a boy or you put it on somebody, you better use it. So he knew that. He knew that type of stuff. I don't even know. He wasn't thinking. And it led to him losing his life.
The scene in Alexandria. Police say Petit and 3 other teens used a gun to get the driver of the car to give up his keys. And as Petit was starting to pull away in the stolen car, they say the victim pulled out his gun and opened fire. Jordan Petit shot and killed, and a 15-year-old suspect shot and wounded. Jordan Petit was a student at Suitland High School. His mother says a 15-year-old found the gun after a fight at the school and gave it to her son. And what this has done to her.
Every man teach a boy or you put a gun on somebody, you better use it. So he knew that. He knew that type of stuff. I don't even know. He wasn't thinking. And it led to him losing his life. Every man teach a boy or you put a gun on somebody, you better use it. So he...
Okay, you pull a gun on somebody, you use it. But what about the fact that the victim was innocent and your son was a criminal? I'm kind of glad that the other guy, to be honest with you, pulled his gun and used it and followed that single mother's rule that she gave her son, and her son was defiant enough to not follow that rule. All right, let's move on.
He knew that type of stuff. I don't even know.
He knew that type of stuff. What, when you pull a gun to use it, and he's a criminal, there was no knowledge or training or teaching about self-defense only. Or does it consider criminality self-defense? What exactly do you mean, ma'am? But, okay, I digress.
He wasn't thinking.
What do you mean he wasn't thinking? He wasn't thinking about consequences? Why not? If that's what you're talking about. So I'm assuming. What else would he not be thinking about? He wasn't thinking about stealing a vehicle. He wasn't thinking about shooting somebody. Come on. What are you talking about, miss? Oh, he wasn't thinking about dying. He wasn't thinking about getting caught. He wasn't thinking about somebody else pulling that gun and pulling the trigger because he pulled it. But in self-defense. All right. I digress. Well, anyway.
And it led to him losing his life.
The scene is Tiger Mark in Alexandria. Police say Poteet and 3 other teens.
Okay, wait a minute. He wasn't thinking and it led to the end of his life? He wasn't thinking and it led to the end of his life, or he wasn't thinking that it would end his life? I need a little clarity here, miss. Or is this the non-functional mentality you raised this child with to do this? You sound like you're making excuses, but let's keep on keeping on. But let's keep on keeping on.
Used a gun to get the driver of the car to give up his keys. And as Poteet was starting to pull away in the stolen car, they say the victim pulled out his gun and opened fire. Jordan Poteet shot and killed, and a 15-year-old suspect shot and wounded. Jordan Poteet was a student at Suitland High School. His mother says a 15-year-old...
Okay, what about this makes this wrong? Was it the criminal's age versus the victim's age? Is that the discrimination? Or is it the color of his skin? Because they didn't mention the victim's color. Perhaps it was the same color of skin. Do you see what I'm getting at here? There's something missing. Or was it that he was a student at a high school? Is that the discrimination? Is that why it was wrong for him to have died involved in criminal activity at the hands of somebody justifiably defending themselves from that as an innocent victim? Is it because he was a student? Is it because he was a teenager, a middle teenager at that? You know, even maybe even younger. I don't know. 13 to 18 is, teenager because it's got the teen after the number. So 13 to 18, 15 is just short of right in the middle. So that's it. So if he was 16, would that have made a difference? 17, 18. I mean, it makes a difference in his development and what he should be responsible for doing. So perhaps maybe this mother and the father, where is he? Shouldn't have been allowing him to have as much responsibility as he had at that age. So maybe if they don't want to blame him because of his age, or he was a student, or let's not even get into the last one because that really doesn't matter unless you are that R word. It is what it is. And facts don't give a about your feelings. So what I'm saying is, if that's the discriminating factor, age or student of high school, let's say mentality, that's why he's in high school and they're making this an issue, then let's say it is the parents' fault. Well, again, I'm going to say where's the father, but wait a minute. Single mother, she can do everything. She's on top of the world, except raising a son who won't go out and get killed, holding somebody hostage at gunpoint, taken off with a car. Or And if it wasn't him with a gun, there's plenty that do have guns. And again, it was probably the same color on same color crime as it usually is. I haven't checked this time. I don't think it matters unless, again, you are the R word. So, let's carry on.
As a 15-year-old found the gun after a fight at the school and gave it to her son. She had a chance to...
Oh, okay. Somebody else found a gun, gave it to her son, and her son still went out and did this. So he did have a gun. I was right. My memory served me correct. Okay. So the fact that somebody else found a gun and gave it to her son justifies it. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's to try to find her son and the person who gave her son the gun innocent because that person just happened to find the gun. What about that person who found the gun turning it into their parents or parent, I'm assuming, because look at this system of decay, so systemic system of decay. Okay, so her son got the gun from this other person who happened to find it. Again, I don't believe it for an instant. Look at the culture. Sorry. But her son, instead of keeping the gun responsibly, telling his parents about it, asking permission to, what to do with the gun. I mean, at that 1 year older than that, I got my first rifle, What Biden wants to, or similar to what Biden wants to outlaw. Okay. Do I have a criminal record? With or aside from that? No. Okay. So there's something to the parents raising their children to do these type of things when they end up with responsibility like that weapon. However, again, let's go back to, I don't believe that's what happened. I believe they got that gun. They were involved in this type of culture and lifestyle for quite some time, and they developed the desire to get the gun to continue this progressive push towards this. And at some point they got the gun, and then now that they got the gun, they ended up here, and he ended up dead. And she's making it sound like, oh no, a couple days ago, yesterday, a few hours ago, right before this happened, one of his friends randomly come across a gun, handed it right to him because he didn't know what to do with it. He went out and just died, got killed because somebody saw he had the gun. That's what she's making it sound like, and I just, there's a lot more to that. It goes a lot deeper and a lot longer than just a couple of minutes, couple of hours, or a couple of days, or even weeks or months. I go back to, where's the father? Okay, wait a minute. She's a strong, independent woman, can do it all on her own, except she didn't. Okay? Then, wait, the dad was a horrible person and blah, blah, blah. Well, why did you choose him to be the father of your son? Alright, anyway.
Talk to Jordan today. What would you tell him?
I'm so disappointed in him for doing this. Why? I miss you, son. I love you with all my heart.
Jordan.
She's so disappointed in him for doing this. Disappointed. That's it. Oh well, I guess when you lack that part of your brain that produces the bonding chemicals and the receptors, and they all don't work right, and you don't understand it, and you don't work about it, and you don't care about it, and blah blah blah, and I want to call it spiritually you lack a soul. Then yeah, I guess you'd be disappointed, not just angry, outraged, and all that kind of stuff. But also, she's blaming her son, even though everybody else is blaming the fact that, or trying to divert the blame from him because of his age and the fact that he's a student in high school. So if you're going to divert the blame, somebody's to blame. And it's not the R word. Because if you believe it is, then you are the R word. So, we all know what this is. No sex before marriage would solve most of these problems. And, getting rid of the no-fault divorce thing would end welfare and blah, blah, blah.
Why? I miss you, son. I love you with all my heart.
Jordan Petit's mom has planned a vigil.
Okay. She asks, why? Why did you do this? Why not? Why didn't he do it? What type of future and what type of, especially with that mentality that he has apparently developed from the person who raised him, why not? Why wouldn't he end up doing that? Answer me that before I'll answer you why he did it. Because I could explain a lot why he did, and it's, again, it all works together because it's just the opposite of why he didn't. What else did she say there? What else did she say?
Petit was a student at Suitland High School. His mother says a 15-year-old found the gun after a fight at the school and gave it to her son. She had a chance.
I love you with all my heart.
Jordan.
I'm so disappointed in him for doing this. Why? I miss you, son.
That was a weird little face gesture.
Why? I miss you, son. I love you with all my heart.
Jordan Petit's mom has planned a vigil.
Okay, she misses him and she did that weird little face thingy. Was it because she was lying about the fact that she loved him and she was just saying that to make herself look good? Or what? Does she not know what love is? I can't tell. But anyway,
I'm so disappointed in him for doing this. Why? I miss you, son. I love you with all my heart.
Jordan Petit's mom has planned a vigil.
she says, I miss you, son. And then does that little smirk weirdness like she doesn't know what she's talking about, doesn't actually mean it. or something, and then it says, I love you, son. Um, Obviously, she doesn't understand her son's in hell. There's no way he went to heaven. Uh, I guess. Boo hoo. I don't know.
I just feel empty right now. I don't know how to feel. And eventually, they keep saying, people say eventually you're going to feel it. But right now, I don't even put in my brain that he's gone.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. She don't even put into her brain that he's gone. Does she suffer from dissociate disorder? A personality disorder? Because if she does, then that happened because of the way she was raised, and most likely by a single mother, and on welfare. But I digress. Anyway, if she's got dissociate disorder, personality disorder, happened because something bad happened to her, raising up in childhood. She really shouldn't be having children unless she's self-aware, got treatment, blah blah blah, or maybe just not at all. But she did. Thanks, Big Daddy government got rid of the dad who might have actually been able to regulate and solve some of these things. But no, because I mean, CC writers gonna do what they're gonna do with the worst of the worst for taking care of children and solving problems like this. Um, Again, I'm giving you reasons why he did this at this point. It is what it is. Um, but okay, let's go back and see what they said. She said again here.
It'll take some time for her to recover.
Oh, it'll take some time for her to recover. Yeah, boo hoo. Oh, yeah, you need to recover. No, if your son is not at fault because of his age and student status and all that, you don't deserve to recover unless it's in prison. If not, stop feeling sorry for your son and be angry that he did what he did because the way you did what you did with him and picked who you did for his daddy or treated his daddy who might have been worth something the way you did to make sure he wasn't part of that child's life. Then again, maybe I'm wrong.
From what happened.
I just feel empty right now. I don't know how to feel.
She feels empty. She shouldn't feel empty. She should have some strong emotions, and she doesn't know how to feel. She should know exactly how she feels. If she doesn't, what on earth is she doing having children? Especially 18 years ago. And 18 years, is she still saying these things? Now you see what I'm getting at.
Eventually, they keep saying, people say eventually you're going to feel it. But right now...
Eventually gonna feel it? Eventually gonna feel it? No, the only way you're gonna feel it is if you are self-aware and emotionally mature. Or you're gonna do dissociate stuff like you talking about most of this time from my ability to, armchair psychologist here. Let's go on. Let's keep on. Keep it on.
I don't even put in my brain that he's gone.
I called it. It is what it is. I don't even put it in my brain. Tell me if that ain't the primary symptom of dissociate disorder to start diagnosing what exactly, little branch or whatever complexity, then what is? Again, that's stuff that happens to you in your childhood, and particularly if you don't get it treated, you shouldn't have children. But even if you get it treated, you should be able at that point to determine whether you can have children or not, like I have been through my life. Wow, imagine that. Getting treatment for severe mental and personality disorders and it actually succeeding because you put in the work to do it pays off without abusing children and causing them to die and all that other property damage. The other guys, I mean, that victim's life, the car is destroyed. Yeah.
As of today, 3 teenagers, including 2 15-year-olds, charged in connection with that carjacking.
Wow.
No charges against
4 of them involved in this. One of them's injured with gunshots. One of them's dead. And I guarantee they all have the same type of upbringing as the dead one.
the driver of the car. The investigation, it continues on. Jim, Sean, back to you.
Such a tragedy. Pat Collins. Pat, thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, so the reaction to that story, everybody...
All right, and a black conservative perspective, he talks about, they shouldn't be memorializing her and everything else, and he's absolutely right, and I could go on about that, but he does such an awesome job. I just wanted to cover this female's particular presentation in this particular manner because it just hit me so hard, and I had to catch it right now and report on it. So, Social Security Officer Joshua reporting. Signing out. See you next time. So, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe if you care to. Like I said, this is Judge Joshua and Dr. Demers, and you know what? I ought to create a third persona called Logical or Legal Logan, or Lawful Logan. I haven't figured it out. Anyway, catch y'all next time.
Answer the phone, Joshua!